Hello, everyone. Welcome. I am so happy to have you here today. This is Kayla from Bud and Bloom, your marketing and business coach for service based women owned businesses. Welcome to today's live. We are going to be diving into something that so many entrepreneurs struggle with, and that's how to actually create a marketing strategy that works for you and your business. So, I wanted to give you guys 5 actual steps that you can take on your own if that feels good. And I'm so excited to share that with you today. This is something I wish that I had when I first started. I know previously I had talked about how a lot of entrepreneurs tend to have a to-do list as opposed as an actual marketing strategy. And so I definitely remember myself having my to-do list saying I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. But exactly what was the clarity behind it? What was the reasoning? How is it sustainable? All of these really important pieces that come into when you're crafting your strategy for your marketing plan, that can answer a lot of those questions for you. So that way you feel really strong and confident when going into your marketing rather than just having this huge list of things that you have to do without necessarily having a rhyme or reason. So we're going to jump into all those things today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I want to hear from you. Before we get started, if you are tuning in live, I'd love for you to drop a hi in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Hello, hello. And if you're catching the replay, go ahead and type replay so that way I can come back and connect with you later. So here's the truth. Most entrepreneurs don't have that marketing strategy. They have that to-do list, posting on Instagram, they're trying TikTok, they're writing blogs, but there's no bigger plan that is tying it all together. And a real marketing strategy is what gives you direction, it helps you attract clients consistently, and saves you from burnout. So if you've ever just felt like you were throwing content out there, hoping something sticks, you really align with that whole I'm trying everything, I'm putting in all this effort, and I'm feeling exhausted, please type a me in the chat because I just want to remind you that you're not alone. Business is hard. It is not easy. There aren't, there isn't necessarily a perfect way to business. And if there was, then everybody would do it and everybody would have a successful business, right? So I want to give some grace, some love on all the hard work that you've been doing. And now we're going to do it a little bit differently instead of having that to do list shifting to a true strategy. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 steps. This is the Bud and Bloom strategy framework. And we're going to go through these steps today. And I hope this just creates a lot more um, practical action for you to take within your business that allows you to actually move forward rather than just giving you another thing to do when it comes to all the million things and all the hats that we wear as a business owner. So, step number 1 is defining your core message. And I call this step the clarity step. We need to know what it is that we are going to be sharing into the world. So, some questions to ask yourself to help you craft this core message is what problem do you solve? And what kind of difference are you looking to curate for your clients? How do you solve this problem differently from others doing it out there? Maybe nobody else solves it this way. So, making sure that you include that in your core message of how this is groundbreaking, how this is different, allowing people to really differentiate how you are special with your solution for them. What do you want to be known for in your business? And ultimately, I think the key thing that your client also really wants to know is what transformation do you help your clients achieve? And I have mixed feelings about this whole word transformation. If you have on your website, and this is coming from my own experience as a life coach, as a yoga instructor, as a sound healer through my other business, as well as with this business as a coach, the word saying, like, I'm going to transform your life does not sell. It is not painful enough or connects enough with your ideal client. Or I feel like with most people out there, transformation feels too far away. So we need to get super clear on exactly what it is and speaking from the beginning place, speaking to your ideal client, knowing that they're in these beginning stages, they're saying, I need help. How do you share with them what it is that you're going to help them reach? Right? I help ABC get to XYZ. And being able to have that in words that your client, where they are right now, can understand is going to be so key when it comes to crafting that core message for them to say, aha, I see what you're saying. Aha, that is something that I want. That is something I'm struggling with. And that sounds like an incredible place to be instead. And being able to have that super clear for yourself and super clear for your clients is going to create so much simplicity when it comes to being able to share who you are and what your business is about. Without this, your content, your business, your message is going to feel scattered. It's going to feel all over the place. And not only is it going to be potentially confusing for you, but it's going to be super confusing for your ideal client. So, making sure that we have this super clear core message crafted before we do anything else. And if you already have your core message, hell yeah, hell yeah. I'm so proud of you. That is amazing. If you're still figuring that out, that is also amazing. I'm so proud of you. Really take the time to answer these questions and dig deep so that way, as you begin to go into the other steps, you have this strong foundation. So, for step number two, this is all about creating connection. So, we have clarity, we have this clarity. Now, we want to create that connection with our ideal client by being able to identify who they are. You want to get so clear on who it is that you're speaking to. What are their biggest struggles? What are their dreams? What are their pain points? What are they struggling with? Marketing works when people feel like you're speaking directly to them, when they can see themselves and say, hey, that sounds like me. A lot of marketing, especially when it comes to posting online and throwing content out there, it can kind of feel like imagine being in like a, let's say, like a grocery store, right? And you want to get a specific person's attention and you just go, hey, you, hey, you. And some people might turn around and be like, are you talking to me? This uncertainty of like, are you addressing me right now? Or they might just like keep walking, not even like just like ignoring you, right? Because they're like, I don't know who this random person is and what they're trying to do. And like, I'm gonna keep on moving, right? Now let's reimagine this situation. Instead of just saying, hey, you to someone in the grocery store, what if we said, hey, you with the red shirt and the brown hair and a ponytail? I would love to talk to you. If you're wearing a red shirt, you have brown hair and a ponytail, you're gonna be like, oh, you're talking to me. Oh, hey, yeah. What are you trying to say? Oh, that's me that you're talking to, right? And that can look vastly different for who it is that you're talking to. But if you're just consistently, your message is, hey, you, hey, you, hey, you, and you're like, why aren't they listening to me? Why can't they find me? It's because we're not being clear enough of like, no, I want to talk to you in the red shirt with the brown hair and a ponytail. Right there, you. You're gonna get that immediate feedback. They're gonna know that you're talking to them, and they're gonna be able to turn around and be able to engage and say, oh, it's even better when we can know someone by name, right? If we're able to go instead of, hey, you in the red shirt with the brown hair and a ponytail, you can go, hey, you, Abby. I would love to talk to you. Then they're like, oh, Abby, that's me, right? But the problem is, and this is like where business is hard, right? We don't necessarily know our future client's name. So being able to understand them and having and knowing an idea of the type of person that they are is going to allow you to better call out to them rather than just saying, hey, you, and ultimately being ignored. So, this is why having a picture of who your ideal client is going to be so helpful for you to be able to share that core message exactly to the person that you want it to go to rather than just saying, hey, you, hey, you. I would love to I got my ideal client. I know exactly who they are. Drop a heart in the chat. I want to see it. And if you don't know who your ideal client is, or you're still working, or maybe you have a little bit of an idea, you know it's someone in a red shirt, but maybe you don't necessarily know anything else about them. Do more research, dive into that person. Who are they? Where are they at? What is their, like we talked about, what are their pain points? And that way you're able to better speak and call out to them. Step number 3, this is about focus. So we talked about clarity, we talked about connection. Now we have focus. Stop trying to be everywhere. Your ideal client is not everywhere, right? So I really want to encourage you, especially if you're a brand new business owner. It's going to get so overwhelming. You're going to feel like I have to be here, here, and here, and here. No, you don't. Stop. Don't even give yourself that expectation that you need to be all the places. Pick one or two places or types of marketing where your audience is actually going to spend time, right? If your ideal client is not at the grocery store and you're like, hey, you in the red shirt with the brown hair with the ponytail, but you don't even hang out here, am I really going to run into you? Probably not, right? So, again, this is where getting to know your ideal client is so important because where do they hang out? Where is my marketing going to be most effective? And then giving yourself the expectation that I don't need to be doing all the things. I just need to do a couple things really well and super consistent. Consistency beats spreading yourself thin. Consistency beats being random. People love certainty. They love knowing that you're going to be here at this time and in this specific platform. It allows them to feel easier to recall, to come back to you, to say, oh, yeah, that person, that service provider, that women owned service provider that I love so much. I love seeing their stuff on Instagram. They're always posting on Monday. That is incredible. They're always on live on Monday. And I cannot wait to come back to that. That's something super easy that I can remember, right? I also want to remind you guys that there are so many different types of marketing, which can also be overwhelming. But again, we're just here to pick one or two that is most effective for our ideal client, right? So I want to throw out some different examples rather than just posting on social media, right? Because that is a great one, but it does not have to be the only one. And we want to make marketing fun again, right? If this feels draining, if this feels exhausting, it's not going to be working. I want you guys to push yourselves out of your comfort zone, of course, but also making sure that we're able to do it in a place that is fun and exciting and knowing that it's a place of growth rather than nails on a chalkboard, tensing, freezing, not and then ultimately not doing anything for your marketing. We want to avoid that completely. Baby steps. So here's some other options. Networking events, you can utilize platforms like meetup.com to be able to meet people through networking events. There are women's business centers out there. Shout out to the IEWBC. That was a huge women's business center. That was a great source of connection for me when I first started my business. You can do posting flyers, you can go door to door, you can reach out via DMs, emails, you can go live like I'm going today. You can be posting online, you can be reaching out to your personal networks, you can do a collaboration, right? There are so many different types of marketing. Think about your ideal client, pick one or two, and be consistent. Allow yourself to be creative with this. Lean into making it fun so that way you continue to show up wherever it is that you decide is the best place to be. I am so excited for you. If you have any out of the box ideas or things that you've done in the past that really worked for you, please share them in the chat. This is a place for us to learn from each other, to get ideas. Please share. I want to hear from you. Comment, let us know what places that you've showed up that maybe you've tried, even if they didn't work, that you got out of your comfort zone, that maybe opened up and sparked new creativity. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for sharing. Our fourth step is creating a simple plan. This is our structure step. Okay. Plan action around your core message, around your ideal client, and how you're going to connect with them, right? What did you decide was the best form of marketing? Where is your client at? And what is that core message? We want to think of awareness, connection, and conversion in this step of structure. Planning does not need to be complicated. I love making things so complicated and creating all these rules that I end up just freezing and not doing it. Let's not do that. Let's make this so simple, so simple, and just ultimately leaning on the fact that we just have to be consistent. I want to remind you too that less is more. You don't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be a bajillion different things. It's just really showing up is the first huge step when it comes to marketing and just saying, "Hey, I'm here. You in the red shirt with the brown hair and the ponytail. I see you. And I just want to take a minute to talk to you today about how I can get you from ABC to XYZ because I feel your pain." Right? Making it as simple as that can be so beneficial. And I know that it might sound so simple, but start there. Start there. At this place of planning, I also think it is really great to utilize the SMART goal tool. If you're not familiar, I'll go through really quickly with what the SMART goal tool is. So we use SMART as an acronym to make a goal that is S, specific, M, measurable, A is achievable, R is relevant, and T is for time frame. I want to remind you that so going through being specific, what it is that you're doing. Making sure that this is measurable, making sure you have some sort of way to identify whether or not this was successful or not for you. Achievable, is this something you can actually maintain and keep going with? Relevant, does this make sense? Thinking about your core message, thinking about your ideal client, is this relevant to you and your business? And T, which I think is kind of one of the most important parts of time of making a plan, is the time frame, right? We really do have to invest time to see how these strategies and plans that we're formulating actually turn out, right? We need to see how this effort that we're putting in creates results, whether or not it's what you were expecting or maybe something else came out of it. It's going to be able to provide you insight and direction. So I really like to recommend, if this is your first time doing marketing, give yourself a time frame of a month to 3 months, somewhere in between, to really be able to say, okay, here's my core message, here's my ideal client. This is where I'm going to show up and spend my time with my marketing, and I'm going to give myself a month to 3 months. A month might be too short. It just depends. I think 3 months is a really great amount of time to be able to make sure that this works for you, making sure that this works for reaching out to your clients. Um, yeah, I think it's just like such an exciting part to be able to get that action, to be able to see, how does this work? Does this plan that I envision actually work for what I'm wanting to do? A lot of business is like this beautiful combination of like art and science, right? We have these visions, we have these ideas, we have these intentions, right? The art side of business. And then there's the science part of like actually conducting these experiments, actually providing the support or the solution. Or like when it comes to marketing, right? Like I think this message is going to work for this person, for this solution, and then being able to conduct that and see what actually works. And yeah, this is like one of my favorite parts of actually coming up with all these plans and these visions as a business owner, seeing what results do I get at the end of the day. Step 5, this is the momentum piece, or building an accountability and review. So it is so great to have a strategy, to have a plan, but without accountability, unfortunately, that strategy, that plan can completely fall apart. It is so important to set in weekly or monthly check ins to review what is going on. I'm doing all this stuff, I'm putting in this effort, what is going on? Or maybe I all of a sudden stumbled and I wasn't showing up, or just checking in with yourself, seeing how these things are working, or having a coach that's able to help you push through any sort of hiccups or hurdles that come within your way. Part of accountability is also keeping track of your data, right? Data is such a key indicator for keeping you accountable. How many times did you say you were going to show up, and did you show up those amount of times? And what kind of data did you get from that, right? I talked about SMART goals earlier. What is your measurable? What is your metric? How will you know if your strategy and plan was successful or not? This is such a key part of your accountability. Accountability really makes space for you to review and reflect on the work that you're putting in, making sure that it makes sense and that it's with your time and effort, whether you should continue with the strategy or plan, whether you should pivot or evolve, or leave it behind, right? This is the places where we get to grow and where we get to thrive within our business. And that is why having a strategy is so, so, so important, to be able to go through this full cycle to then begin again, right? After we've completed our experiment, we get to identify, is my core message working? Is it the ideal client that I thought that needs this? Is this solution working this way, or do they need to have this tool instead, right? Depending on what it is that you offer your clients. So, and then creating the plan, taking action on that plan, and then reflecting and having the accountability for your plan is just going to allow for this beautiful process of growth and flourishment and blooming within your business that I'm so excited for you to have, because it can feel so overwhelming. And especially if you don't have something in place and you're just kind of throwing it out there, you can get lost. You can get defeated and ultimately freeze and then stop. That's not why you started this business. You did not start this business to stop. You started this business because you have a gift. You have something special and important to share and offer for your ideal client. And you need to share this with the world. So let's stop allowing ourselves to get overwhelmed, and let's lean into momentum. Let's lean into allowing ourselves to bloom and grow as business owners. So that is why we have the Bud and Bloom 5-step strategy framework. Again, it's all about clarity, connection, focus, structure, and momentum. When you follow these steps, marketing stops feeling like a guessing game and starts working as a clear system to bring in clients. Here's your action step for this week. I want you to pick one of these 5 steps to focus on. I want you to ask yourself, where am I stuck right now? Is it that clarity piece, connection, focus, structure, momentum? I want you to take time to write it down. It can take 5 minutes of your time to be able to take one of these actions and to improve this area this week. I want to empower you and encourage you to do that. So I would love to hear in the comments which area that you are going to be focusing on first this week. I I think all of these have so much potential to really allow you to grow and flourish in ways that maybe you didn't know that you needed. So I think any place is a beautiful place to start, whether you're at step 1, 3, or 5. Taking that time to reflect as a business owner is so, so crucial. Alrighty. We've talked a lot about strategy today. We've talked a lot about the hurdles that we uh, go through as business owners, right? And this is exactly why I want to encourage you to join the Momentum Reset. So, what is the Momentum Reset? It is my 8-week marketing coaching container for service based women entrepreneurs who are tired of spinning their wheels in marketing. Inside this 8-week program, you're going to get crystal clear on your message and audience. We're going to build a simple strategic plan that fits you and keep you consistent with accountability so that you don't lose momentum. We want to ignite that fire. We want to keep those flames ablaze. If you are trying to figure this out on your own, I've been there. It's going to feel overwhelming, or maybe you're just simply stuck. I want to know that I designed this program just for you. If you would love to connect with me in the details of this live, I have a 15-minute session for you to connect with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk about more and see if this is a right fit for you. The momentum reset came out of my own struggles as a business owner, things that I wish that I had support with. And I am so excited to be able to support you as a service based woman entrepreneur, to be able to kick ass, to tap into that fire and to that passion that you hold, and really allow your ideal clients to find you, be supported by the amazing work and care that you hold within. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If this helped you, make sure that you subscribe, leave a comment, share this with a business friend who could use a clearer marketing strategy. I cannot wait to see you guys next week. We are going to be diving more into marketing as we always do. If there's ever a topic that you want me to cover, please feel free to DM or reach out or email me. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next week. Bye.